The way, yeah, the way you want me to talk. I want to pray, pray the only way that you say. I want to be happy, yeah, happy in you, Lord. For you are the joy, you are the peace, you are the child that I need to be with you. Oh, 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 Lord, I wanna be what you want me to be. I wanna trust you in everything, everything I do. I wanna talk, I wanna walk, I wanna sing. Lord knows I wanna dance, Lord, dance. I wanna praise you in the morning, praise you at noon, praise you at the night time. And surely, surely, God, I want to praise you when everything is going wrong. Oh, you are the deliverer, you are the healer. Oh Lord, I believe in you. Hey, I want to live my life fully. I want to live my life fully. I want to live my life fully in you. Hallelujah, Lord. We talk about purposeful days. Fully, to live our life fully, to live our life being rooted in the Lord. And to be honest, women, we did a great job. Rest of the congregation, let's get on board. We got to start praising Him. We got to start, we got to give our all to Him. Now, our play is going to go in two ways. Like the play went, I'm going to talk about the play, and I'm also talk about being rooted in the Lord. And one of the things is knowing how to be rooted in the Lord. See, we live in the world. And in living in the world, we always think about things. We think more about the world than we think about God. You saw the true example. When you're a child, yes. What do you do?
Yes.
When you talk to God when you're a child, and you just take for granted whatever He says. And that's why they said, bring up a child the way you want them to be. Because if we don't start from a small child, then you'll see what it happens. There's that gap where we tend to get lost between that childhood and getting God. Because when you ask a prayer in a child, and if God says, okay, and it's not answered the way you want it answered, you let it go. You move on. But when you do a prayer according to adults and you don't get an answer, we get angry with God.
Yes.
Now, what I've learned and working in a nursing home and sometimes being, the evangelist or the chaplain there, is that sometimes we are praying for something to happen one way, and they change their mind. Because one thing, you can be praying for the cancer to go away, but then there's a point where the person will say, God, I can't take it anymore. You just take me on home. But they didn't tell you that. So you're still praying one way. I remember this one lady, she was 98 years old, and she went to the hospital, and so I'm just praying, oh, Mommy, please let Miss Tonkia and add more years to her life. And I'm reading Psalm 23rd and the 23rd Psalm and everything and so forth. And she gave me such a look, as if to say, are you crazy? I want to go home. And so I said, excuse me, I'm sorry. From that day on, this was when I started asking residents, do you want to live longer, or are you ready to go home? And sometimes we're praying, and that prayer changes, and the person says, I want to go home. Take me home, Lord, because I can't take the pain anymore. And we're still holding on to it. But either way, a lot of things is that my sermon today is be rooted, live fully in life, and subtitle, don't get caught up in obligation. Because, obligation is completely different than responsibility. But if you look at most of us, we feel more obligated to do things. Sometimes we even feel obligated, I have to go to church. And yes, we should. But why should we come to church? And look, I like for you to talk to me. If you talk to me, you get the best out of me. So why should we go to church? Church? Why should we go to church? I can't hear you.
To worship God.
To worship God. And when we come to worship God, how should we come into church worshiping God?
With your heart.
Humble, wanting, cheerful, just like Jessie. When Jessie came, and when she said, oh, Mommy bought me a doll. And look at, she can do this and she can do that. She shared with God. But somewhere along the line, we stopped. And one of the things that Romans 13, 8 through 10 says, be under obligation to no one. The only obligation we have is to love one another. And that's also, and the first love that we're supposed to love, who we're supposed to love first? God. That's number one love that we have to have. And when we love Him, in everything we do, we become rooted. We become rooted in His love. And we don't allow it to get away from us. And right now, we are becoming, how we say, a lot of us want to serve two gods. We want to serve the way the world said we should be, and the way we think we ought to be. Okay? And the only way we should be is how God wants us to be. Now the other thing is, it says here, you see, when I get all happy, and when I get happy, everything just moves all out of the way. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. All right. As it says, Ephesians 3:17, your roots will grow down into God's love and make you strong. But if you don't have the right roots, does it grow? No. What happens to trees? You got some trees that they are so rooted in the ground that no matter what the storm may come and blow the top of part of the tree off, but the next thing you know, that tree is growing up again. Because it is so rooted and those vines are so there. And that's the way we need to become. We need to become so rooted in God that obligation to, I gotta do this, I have to do that, and I have to take the kids to, I gotta take them to the soccer, I gotta take them to music, I have to take them to that. You know, God, I just don't, I'm so tired, I just can't make it there today. But who gave you the children? God. Because a lot of us, we've been praying for kids, right?
Yes.
You get them, and then you get so caught up in their world that you forget what we're supposed to be doing for God. And we can't do that. When we say rooted, that means, is that we have to have that desire. We have to have such a desire to God for God that nothing can pull us away from Him.
Amen.
I mean, it doesn't matter whether you go through a divorce, doesn't matter whether there's an illness that may take someone away. No one wants to lose a loved one. But we all know that someday that is going to happen.
Yes, yes.
And the most important thing is what? Is to love them while they're on earth. That's like another example. There's a resident, this is from her perspective, that her and her daughter have not spoken in many, many years. She came there, I think, twice at the nursing home. And this lady's been there, I think, maybe 10 or 12 years. And the thing that they stopped speaking over is that her daughter decided to marry a white man. Or a European man, and she said she didn't want her to marry him. And from this day, the daughter has nothing to do with her mother. Now, she's of age, right? She can marry whomever she wants to, right?
Right.
So, but you have one mother, right? So mama cannot talk to me, but there's no way on this God's earth, no matter what it was. I feel like this. If Joyce Myers can forgive her father for raping her constantly, everybody should be able to give a mother who says that I can't. I don't want you to marry somebody. And be there. But this is the way the world is now, and it keeps us from being rooted. It keeps us from being anchored in God and holding on to what He wants us to do. Most of the time when we pray for a person that we want to be healed or we want to be made whole, we never even consult God what is best for the person. We ask what we want. Yes, the Bible does says, ask and it shall be given to you. But everything has a reason. Another incident. There was another resident. He was dying. And I went in there. You learn a lot. I went in there to pray for him. And I started, God told me to start speaking in tongues. And all of a sudden, he started fighting, because I said the angels are there. And this resident just started fighting, and because he couldn't talk. And I said, if you could do something, if it's yes, put one finger up, and if it's no, put two fingers up. And he's doing this like this fingers all over the place. Now look, and I said, God, what is this? What is he trying to tell me? God said, well, my angels are not there, and he's fighting to go to the right place. Can I get a napkin or something like that? Or said, my angels are not there. Air conditioning makes me perspire. To be honest, it does. I'm the opposite. My angels are not there. And that is the first time that I've